Welcome to Game of Thrones Episode 3, Season 7, The Queen's Justice. Now, The Queen's Justice was such an amazing episode. It might have been one of the greatest episodes in Game of Thrones history. I mean, so much awesome stuff that we've been wanting to see for a long time happened. Jon Snow finally gets to Dragonstone, finally gets to meet Daenerys Targaryan, two people we've been rooting for the entire 7 seasons of the Game of Thrones world. It's finally amazing that they finally got to meet. And one of those best moments happened in that scene when they're first introduced. You have Daenerys Targaryen with this long list of all her names: Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons, Stormborn, whatever. And then Sir Davos just says, "And this Jon Snow." Like, what the hell? Like, that shit was one of the funniest moments. And then he's, "Oh yeah, King in the North, Jon Snow." But like, all the stuff that Jon Snow accomplished, but he was like, "Oh, this is just Jon Snow." And then this girl's over here with their big old list. Then we have, of course, Jon Snow tell Daenerys about the White Walker. She doesn't believe him. And now Jon Snow kind of becomes a prisoner until he kneels for the new and becomes an ally to the Queen. But Jon Snow's like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." And then at the end of the episode, we have Daenerys Targaryen give permission to Jon Snow to finally dig up the dragon glass and make weapons for the White Walkers. Now that's going to be interesting. And now she's lost 2 battles so far. She's 0 for 2 in this war. And she has to use the dragons. And she has to use the Dothraki now. So it's going to get wild right here in Westeros. Overall, this whole episode was amazing. I don't want to summarize the whole thing because you already saw the episode. So I want to talk about my 3 favorite moments from this episode. 3 things stood out for me. You have Sansa. They finally show her for the first 6 seasons of Game of Thrones. She was the wife to somebody else. She was just in the background. And now you got to see how she's going to rule. Telling people, "Hey, you got to make that shit, put some leather in that armor. Hey, we need some food for the war." And then you see Littlefinger trying to get in her head and she just brushes him off. Like, she's growing a pair. Like, Sansa Stark is becoming the Queen in the North. And then you have, this is why it's one of my favorite moments. You have Bran and Sansa reunite for the first time since, I think, season 1. Then you have Sansa and Bran, they're interacting, and he tells her that he saw her when she got married and he knows what she's been through and that he sees everything that happened in the past. And now he gets in her head and she's like, "What the fuck was that? What's the 3-eyed raven?" And Bran showing no emotion, like he's the 3-eyed raven. He wants to become the 3-eyed raven 100% fully, and he wants to learn all his powers. So that's very interesting. And he also mentioned that he needs to talk to Jon Snow, so that's going to be really cool. Now, my number 2 moment that happened in this episode, when Olenna is having the conversation with Jaime, and she says, "How am I going to die? Is it going to be painful?" And then he's like, "No, it's not going to be painful." She wanted it to be painful. I was like, "Nah, she doesn't deserve it. She's an OG." And then Jaime Lannister finds out that she's the one that killed Joffrey. She tells him, "Oh, I was the one that poisoned Joffrey, and I watched him bleed," and all this bullshit. And he's furious, and she tells him, "Hey, Cersei, it was me this whole time." So that was freaking epic. It was an amazing moment, but not the best moment from the episode. The best moment of the episode was in King's Landing. Cersei decided to punish the Sand Snakes in one of the best, most fucked up ways you can. I mean, she killed her daughter the same way that they killed Cersei's daughter, by kissing her with the poison. And then, not only that, she has to watch her daughter die within the next 24 to 48 hours, whatever, in front of her face. They can't touch. And as soon as she dies, she's gonna remain in her cell for the rest of her life, and she's gonna watch rats start to eat her, all these worms. She's gonna smell like her daughter's gonna be right there the whole time. And then you have this scene where they're both in chains, like this close from like being able to touch, and they just can't, and they know that she's gonna die. Now that was the most fucked up and the best moment from this episode, in my opinion. So that was my take on episode 3, season 7, The Queen's Justice. What do you guys think is the best moment in this episode? For me, it was that one, but I'm pretty sure you guys probably think it's something else. So please let me know. That's why we love Game of Thrones. And if you guys haven't already, subscribe and hit the notification so you don't miss a video. Thank you guys for watching. My name's Angel. And hit me up. Oh, gotta gingerly put the sword away.